Toronto. It's Oriol Servia leads away. We've had 3 drivers onto pit lane during this caution. Alex Tagliani, Robert Dornbosch and Graham Rahal. They are in the 10th, 11th and 12th positions. But now beginning to pick up speed, and once again the tyres will be cold. It's relatively cool this afternoon. There's no rain in the air at the moment. There is a green flag. Oriol Servia leads, and Will Power makes that great jump down to the inside in turn 1, and he finally gets away past Bruno Junqueira. Will Power up into 4th place.
That was a brilliant move from Will, absolutely textbook stuff, and I don't even think he had to use the power to pass to make that pass happen, but it looks as though he might be on it right now. He was on it for a little bit to defend that position and catch up, stay in touch with Justin Wilson as they all funnel down into turn 3. A potential pass going down there. Oh, looks like we just missed it. Will we see them coming through? Couldn't quite tell who that was, but certainly some racing going on further back as well.
And we talk about that Cosworth power to pass, and there's a button on the steering wheel. Regular viewers will know all about it. There's one of the many buttons on the steering wheel. You press that button, and for a period of about as much as 14 seconds, which is the amount of time they spend on Lakeshore Boulevard here, it would give the engines an extra 300 RPMs, about 50 horsepower, and that's enough to at least pull alongside one of your rivals and perhaps make a pass under braking into the next turn. It's a great innovation in this Champ Car World Series, along with the red and black sidewall tyres that Bridgestone produces. But it's still Oriol Servia who leads. Sebastian Bourdais in 2nd place. There is Justin Wilson in 3rd, the CCWS car right behind him now. This car, the yellow and green car, Team Australia colours, that is Will Power, and he's been absolutely superb this season, as Will has been a regular point scorer, scored his first win earlier in the season, in the first race of the season in Las Vegas, and he's been an absolute, well, not really a revelation because the guy was quick last year, but he's been a regular contender for victories in all the races this year, James.
He certainly has. I mean, obviously last year he had flashes of brilliance, but being his rookie year in the Champ Car World Series, he had a lot of learning to do. He had to come to grips with the car, and of course every track that we went to, until we went to his native Australia, the Surfers Paradise track, was brand new to him. So now that he's got a year of experience under his belt and knows all the racetracks, a brand new race car, and the Walker team has certainly stepped up their act for this season. Both their drivers running very well, but Will Power doing a great job this season and looking very racy early on in this Toronto Grand Prix.
He's got the best, Will Power has the best overall average starting position coming into this weekend. Had to have a 1 DNF in Cleveland. That explains why he's only 3rd in the points table behind Sebastian Bourdais and Robert Dornbosch. But Power certainly looking good, as is this man, Justin Wilson. Great on-board finish. And
you could see right there, actually, Jeremy, Sebastian Bourdais was on his Cosworth power to pass. He was very close there as they're coming through turn 3. Justin now, he might look down the inside into 5 here. Oh, he's alongside him. They're going to touch. They touched, and both cars. No, Sebastian. I'm not sure if he touched the wall. Justin Wilson for sure is around.
Bruno Junqueira held up as well, and around him went Dan Clark, so disaster there for Justin Wilson. You talked about that Cosworth power to pass. You can see the red light flashing on Sebastian Bourdais' car as they came along Lakeshore Boulevard, and then a couple of corners after into turn 5. Justin thought he had an opportunity to get alongside. Sebastian Bourdais closed the door, and it was this man that came on for us. Is there any suspension damage, however?
He might be all right. The question, I mean, his wing looks to be intact. The end plates seem to be pointing the right direction. The question is whether that pushed Sebastian out into the wall and he made contact at all. But he certainly did not come down pit lane, nor did this man, Justin Wilson. So we're going to try and get to a replay here. Justin, yeah, oh no, okay, Sebastian did keep it off the wall. But I'd like to look at Justin's inboard camera if we can again, because I mean, it looked like Sebastian knew he was there. He gave him some room, but just not quite enough. So very, very close call for both those guys, but I think they've gotten away with it.
I think they have, a great save really from is on board now, the CCWS car. Look here as he dives down to the inside into turn 5.
So he pulls out, and I mean, Sebastian's not, yeah, you know what, Sebastian probably just didn't know that he was there. So it was a little bit of an aggressive move, a little bit maybe overzealous, because he was not quite alongside, but either way, tragic for both of those guys.
Yeah, so it's certainly a shame for Justin Wilson. He's now going to catch up the back of the field. He is down in 12th place. Trying to have a word with Phil Howard, who's the team manager for the R Sports organization. He looks after the cars of both Justin Wilson and Alex Tagliani. Tagliani running in 8th. He was been involved in a couple of skirmishes already in the early stages of this race, and he was certainly looking very promising at the beginning of the race. And our sports have been they've been strong for, well, most of this season, quite frankly. It seems to be getting more and more competitive. But look at this battle for the lead now. Sebastian Bourdais clearly, it would appear, unaffected by that collision with Justin Wilson just a lap or two ago. And now Sebastian Bourdais is really beginning to place some pressure on Oriol Servia. This is a battle for the lead. We're on lap 21 of the Steelback Grand Prix of Toronto, and it's a very exciting contest up front. Sebastian Bourdais, quickest in both qualifying sessions this weekend, so he extends, well, he actually extends his championship lead to 2 points. He came in here tied on points with Robert Dornbosch after Dornbosch's magnificent victory 1 week ago at Mont-Tremblant. So tied in points, albeit the tiebreaker in favour of Bourdais by virtue of the fact he's won 3 races this season. And now Sebastian has a 2-point lead, and he wants to extend that further. Look at the gap there from first to second over the last 3 laps, and Bourdais is clearly very quick indeed. They're both using their Cosworth power to pass as they speed down Lakeshore Boulevard, and to the inside goes Sebastian Bourdais.
I don't think he's quite close enough. Oriol did a great job of using the Cosworth power to pass as a defense mechanism. He saw that Sebastian was close. He probably knew that Sebastian was going to jump on his little red button, so he did the very same thing. So great driving from both these guys. Pretty heads up from Oriol.
You only have 60 seconds worth usage of that Cosworth power to pass throughout the whole race. So yeah, there's how much they have left now of their Cosworth power to pass. Servia just used it then. He's only used 9 seconds worth. Bourdais, however, has used 17 seconds worth. So that's interesting. You can use it either as an offensive tactic to try and pass somebody, or as a defensive tactic to keep somebody behind you.
And now look at the gap between the two of them.
The fastest lap of the race there by Oriol Servia, the first man to dip below 61 seconds, a 1 minute 0.945 second lap. There is Oriol Servia. Here is Sebastian Bourdais.
See, now it will be interesting to see. We've seen this before from Sebastian in the first end of a race. If he's near a car, he'll get racy, he'll try and make a move.
That's correct, Jan. That is exactly what they told him. To keep the lead, they want him to keep his foot in it.
So yeah, that's the radio communication. They're telling Oriol to maintain that advantage. Sebastian Bourdais, he's made an attempt to get over the lead. I'm sure now he's going to settle into fuel conservation mode. If he can eke out his first load of 32 gallons of methanol fuel a little bit longer than Oriol Servia, maybe turn a lap or 2 more than Servia on hot tyres, that is a big advantage. And maybe then once they both made their first pit stops, that will give him enough of a gap. If you can, a couple of quick laps while Oriol makes his pit stop and comes out on cold tyres, maybe that would give Bourdais an opportunity to leapfrog the Spaniard and move into the lead.
Yeah, it's like I was just saying, Jimmy, before Bill came in there, is that we've seen it before from Sebastian where he'll try and get racy at the first end of a race when he's near a guy, but if he can't make the move and he can't get it done with 1 or 2 attempts, he'll then switch into fuel conservation mode, and there is nobody better at running quick laps while hitting fuel numbers than Sebastian Bourdais. So he's obviously now trying to make his fuel stretches. We see Neil Johnny coming down the inside of Dan Clark. Great pass, and he's eager. Oh, they're both fighting to get the power down as they head into turn 5. Will we see another incident here? No, it looks like Neil Johnny has pulled that one off very, very well. So we're actually getting word that Johnny should be pitting this lap. So good effort from him to try and make up a little bit of ground before he dives into the pits.
And Michel Beisner is with Paul Stoddart, the owner of Minardi Team USA.
But he struggled at the start. Can you tell me what happened?
Yeah, he just simply stalled the car at the start. He's recovered now. In fact, it's kind of one of those things that probably played out to our advantage because he would have been right in the middle of that big accident. So we're running a good race, and obviously Speedy Dan's up there in 4th or 5th, depends how you look at the passing manoeuvre. So yeah, not too bad.
What's it going to take for Dan to be on that podium at the end of the day?
He needs to calm down a little bit. He's a bit upset about a race control call at the moment where they say he passed Junqueira under the yellow flags. I didn't see it that way, neither did he, so we need to calm him down a little bit, and it's a long way to go in the race.
Here's this battle there, a great battle going on there with Neil Jarni and Dan Clark and Simon Pageant and Alex Tagliani. And Tagliani's Tide at Walmart Victory Lap charity program benefits the Children's Miracle Network, includes not only cross-promotion between Tide and Walmart, but also brings children from local hospitals to the racetrack to meet Alex and experience excitement of the Champ Car World Series. Fans can help support the cause themselves by buying a special Walmart ticket for the Rexall Grand Prix of Edmonton in 2 weeks' time, and a portion of that ticket price will go to the Children's Miracle Network. So a great program there put together by Tagliani and the folks at Tide and Walmart. And on board here with Justin Wilson, and he's tried to make a pass on Robert Dornbusch. That is a battle now for 10th place, and again no blocking there certainly from Dornbusch, and Wilson makes that pass.
Yeah, everybody played nice. Wilson has now worked his way back into the top 10 after that small little spin. And you know, I was talking actually to Paul Stoddard, the team manager for Team Minardi USA. He was praying for rain after disappointing qualifying from his two guys, but they're doing okay now in the race.
So excitement here, still in the early stages of the Steelback Grand Prix of Toronto. Oriol Servia leads now with 3 seconds over Sebastian Bourdais, and about similar gap back to Will Power in third with Bruno Junqueira and Neil Jarni. And then this train of cars here with Justin Wilson now running in 10th place. He's managed to get past Graham Rahal and Robert Dornbusch after that incident he had while battling for second place with Sebastian Bourdais. And Justin now trying to make up some of that lost ground.
Justin, you're the fastest car.
And that's Phil Howard, the team manager for the R Sport team, telling Justin Wilson, confirming to Justin Wilson, you're the fastest car on the track. And indeed so, he set the fastest lap of the race as car number 9, the CDW R Sport car of Justin Wilson, a 1:02.34. Second fastest lap of the race set by our race leader Oriol Servia, 1:08. So 0.6 of a second quicker right now is Justin Wilson, but he is back in 10th place. Oriol Servia leads in Toronto. As we look at the gap between first and second, Oriol Servia comes through turn 2 and onto Lakeshore Boulevard for the 28th time. Behind him is the McDonald's car of Sebastian Bourdais. 2.6 seconds the gap last time around, so Sebastian Bourdais closed in by about 4/10. There is a good view of the gap between the first, second and then the third place car of Will Power for Team Australia as they come here through turn 4, slight left-hand kick up over that little crest. Heavy braking here for turn 5, and in this very, very tricky turn 6, James.
It is. It's a blind entry corner, and it's a very long duration as well. So as you turn in, you carry quite a load of speed in, and you get to the point where you actually have to pick up the throttle and start speeding up before you can see the exit of the corner. And as a driver, from our low vantage point, it's a very, very tough mental block to get over, saying, okay, I'm going to start getting back to power, putting down 750 horsepower when I can't even see where the track goes from here. And you don't know if there's maybe something in the way, a car on the other side. These blind corners can really catch you out sometimes, Jeremy.
Yes, indeed. It's a very demanding racetrack here. It's a track on which rookies very rarely tend to shine. It really is a very technical racetrack, as you say, James Hinchcliffe, and it's always the veterans here who seem to come out on top, more so perhaps than just about any other track on the schedule.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate, just because for a street circuit, it is so technical. I mean, they obviously when you build a street circuit, you're very limited as to what you can do with the layout, and often it's a lot of 90-degree corners and a pretty simple layout, even though each track has its own challenges. But here at CNE, at the Toronto Grand Prix here, they've got a little bit more area to work with and some unique turns, I guess, for a street circuit, turn 6 being one of them. So from a technical and a driver technique point of view, this is probably the most demanding circuit that we go to for the street circuits.
Yeah, a great variety of corners here as well. It's a street circuit which you tend to associate with 90-degree right-hand turns, or left-hand turns, whatever, 90-degree turns in any case, but here there's a good variety of speeds through the corners. And there is Oriol Servia going through turn 1 and onto the fastest part of the course on Lakeshore Boulevard. You reach almost 180 miles an hour here, up into 7th gear, and absolutely extending his lead once again just a little bit there for on lap over Sebastian Bourdais. 0.3 of a second a lap quicker was Oriol than Sebastian Bourdais in second place. The gap from first to second, 2.8 seconds, and the gap from second to third, just 2.9, so very similar margins there. Bruno Junqueira, a couple of seconds back from Will Power in 4th place, and a lot of time here to go in Toronto, and Oriol Servia who leads over Sebastian Bourdais. As Toronto's largest annual sporting event, the Steelback Grand Prix of Toronto has taken the necessary steps to become carbon neutral. The Grand Prix is a leading example of how large-scale events can be effectively managed and environmentally responsible all at the same time. Certainly that is the case with the methanol fuel, of course, used by the Champ Car World Series. There was a view of the Index car of Oriol Servia. Brilliant start from the second row of the grid to take the lead at the start of the race. He's led all the way now, 30 laps in the lead for Oriol, and it's been a super performance so far this season. Oriol, of course, began the season out of a ride.